Hey guys, so we just did the morning routine right now. You guys saw all that, the montage. I did the morning routine of the push-ups, my hygiene, of course, my contacts, and the hydration, the water with lemon and salt, and then my journaling. Right, I go to my desk after all that, and I journal. Normally, if I worked out, like weightlifted, I will eat a pre-workout meal. Like I will drink the salt water and a pre-workout meal. I will eat a pre-workout meal. But today it's my rest day, so it's actually Labor Day. It's Labor Day today. So I'm gonna go out with my family today. And so before all that though, I want to get my morning routine in. Did all that. You guys saw that. Just finished my run right now. And it felt really good. The only thing is right now there's a lot of construction happening around the house, like around the block, so they ruined like my route to, because I timed it perfectly which route will give me like 30 minutes of running, right? And then I come back home right on time. But now I had to like figure it out on the way. Like I just run, and if I have like 2 minutes left, then I'll just run around another block or something. So we did that. And it felt really good, right? My morning routine has changed, honestly, quite often. Like, if people think that if you make a morning routine, you're making a huge commitment, like a marriage, right? Now, you are making a commitment, but it changes over time, right? Like, when I first started my morning routine, I thought I was just gonna marry it, like, my whole life, right? And that wasn't the case, right? You have to see test what works, what doesn't work, what's a waste of time, what tends to get you more motivated or more like in the zone, So I find that, doing some sort of activity in the morning for me, like weightlifting or cardio, like zone 2 cardio, I really love it in the morning. So that's what we did right now. And honestly, that's the first thing that I want to get into, actually. Like, coincidentally, the topic of this video is like what I would have done differently if I wanted to get like more jacked sooner, or at least be jacked now, right? Because I made tons of mistakes this past year, and a year ago around this time I was thinking like any weight I gain is good weight, right? I was very skinny my whole life, and when I first started my bulk last year, I thought that any weight was good weight. So I just chased the scale. I just chased the number on the scale, just went on the scale, and I was just eating whatever. I wasn't tracking, because I thought tracking was stupid if you're trying to gain weight, because it's like, okay, why am I tracking if the whole purpose of me is just to eat and gain weight, right? Now, it did work for the first like 6 months. I'll get into to the eating later, but the cardio was like, something I neglected because I was like, oh, cardio is bad, right? You want to eat in a calorie surplus. So if you're doing cardio, you're just burning calories, right? And now that's not all true, right? You need to get your heart rate going. You need to get your heart pumped and exercised, even through a bulk, right? So last year I was just doing no cardio. I thought it was just stupid, and so I just didn't do anything. I just weightlifted. All I wanted to do was just get big, essentially. And so I did that, and it paid. I paid the price for it. I saw a lot of fat, and so I was like, fuck, this is not working. So now I do zone 2 cardio in particular, right? So zone 2 cardio is like the fat burn cardio, and that's what I do now. And I have an Apple Watch to like track where my heart rate is, right? And I try to stay in the zone 2, which is like around, for me, 120 to 140 beats per minute for my heart rate. And so to find out your heart rate for zone 2, it's easy. Just get 220, subtract your age, and then times that by 0.6 and 0.7, and that's your heart rate zone for zone 2. So 220 minus your age, and then, so for me, 220 minus, I'm 20 years old, 220 minus 20, 200 times 0.6, which is like 120, and then times 0.7, which is like 140. That's my heart rate zone, 120 to 140 beats per minute. So you can just take that as you want. Just do the math for you. And I try to do at least zone 2 cardio on my off days when I'm not weightlifting, right? So my split right now is focused on recovery and just like less gym days and more intensity, right? So I've been doing zone 2 like in the morning, like at 6 a.m. when I'm fasted. Of course, when I still count it fasted. I count it as fasted even though I drink like salt water with lemon. That's not really like food or anything. It's just water. But I'm technically still fasted. So I do that every morning, and I'm seeing better results. As you improve on that, your heart rate is gonna pump better. Your blood flow is gonna be much better, and you're gonna have more lifts, better lifts. You're gonna be stronger. Your pump is gonna be much more better, because your heart rate is like it is adapting to that intensity, so it can be able to withstand those workouts, those heavy workouts. And I see the difference. I'm a little bit more veiny, and I'm gaining weight a little bit here, little by little, as I'm lean bulking right now. That's my goal right now. I'm lean bulking because I want to gain more weight now, because I did an aggressive cut, but I'm doing more cardio and I'm eating more so that I can be able to gain weight lean, right? I don't want to make my past mistake. I want to gain weight the right way. So that's the first thing. But right now we're going to go shower. I'm going to do a cold shower because I am quite sweaty right now. And we're going to go to Soak City later because it's a Labor Day with my family. I like to hang out with my family. But I still want to get this YouTube video out. So we're going to go shower. I'm going to go read a little bit probably, if I have the time. If not, then I'll probably just go get some coffee. Just to, why not? So just get some coffee. And yeah, I'll see you in the next scene. All right, I hope you can hear me now. This is the microphone I'm going to use because I'm in the car. Because we have to make an emergency stop kind of to Target. Because I cut my finger yesterday during my workout. And it wasn't even during the workout. It was actually the tripod. I was setting up the tripod. And then the leg, like, suppose it's very sharp, right? The 3 legs of the tripod, they're pretty sharp. Like, the edges are really sharp. So I probably just cut my finger, like, right through it, right? And so I have this Band-Aid that I've been using for like the past now almost 24 hours, right? No, not the exact one, of course, but after that happened, I asked for a Band-Aid at the gym, and they didn't have any Band-Aids. Like, how do you not have any Band-Aids? But what if, anything happens? You get cut, you get hurt, and there's no Band-Aids. I mean, that's just that's just my way of thinking. But there was no Band-Aids, and so I just had to go to the Vons, right, like 30 seconds. I could have probably walked there if I'm being honest, but I just drove like around the block and there was a Vons right there. And I bought some Band-Aids. I posted on my story about this story. I posted on my Instagram story. And I got some Band-Aids, and I went to actually go finish my workout, right? I went to finish my workout because there's like no way I'm going to let something like this something like this just stop me from finishing my workout. So we're gonna go to Target right now, and we are going to get some waterproof Band-Aids because we are going to Soak City for Labor Day. People walking their dogs. And so instead of going to the normal coffee shop that I usually go to, we're going to go to a coffee shop that I found nearby that Target. Oh, you can't even see me. That I found nearby that Target that I want to try. I haven't tried it yet. I tried the boba spot right next to it. It's like a boba spot. I love boba. I used to hate boba, if I'm being honest. But now I love it. So now we're going to go to Target and we're going to get that Band-Aid, and then we're going to get some, just shampoo because I ran out just yesterday. And we're going to go to Soak City. So I need to, wash my body after being in all that water. So I'm going to go there. But the other thing I wanted to talk about as I drive here is that, I wish I would have really, now that I think about it, I feel so stupid for not knowing this before, but sleep was super important. I had a great night's sleep last night. Even though I woke up at 4 a.m., which is before my alarm, I still had a great night's sleep because I went to sleep a little bit earlier and I didn't eat before. I didn't eat right before I sleep. I used to do that thinking if I just eat before I sleep, and then, that energy can go towards my workout the next morning. It's just not the case, right? You don't recover as well enough when you eat right before you sleep. I'd rather eat right before the workout, like an hour before the workout, rather than eat a big meal before I go to sleep, and then I can't sleep as good. Because your body exerts so much energy just digesting food. It exerts just using so much calories and energy just to digest the food at night. And so it can't really focus on your recovery when, you're digesting your food and trying to recover at the same time. So it has to pick one or the other. And the food in there, it's not just going to stay in there. It has to be processed. So your body's not just going to leave it in there just let's recover the muscles first and then we'll take care of the food. No, it doesn't work like that. So I really wish I would have prioritized my sleep much more better, because I was getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep a year ago. And not even a year ago, 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I was just getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep every night. Now I try to get at least 7, right? At least 7. It's hard to get 9 because I work late sometimes, or I like to do a little routine before I go to sleep. So I try to get at least 7 minimum. Go to sleep at 9:30 or 9:45. Wake up at 4:30, I believe. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7 hours. So I slept at 10 yesterday, and I woke up at 4 today. So that's 6 hours. So a minimum 6 hours, no less than 6 hours. But I used to think that, okay, if I just work out, right? If I just hit my protein goal, my muscle grows, right? Your muscle doesn't grow when you eat, right? It repairs, right? As it's you're going through your day, you're using your protein to repair the muscle. But the protein synthesis to grow the muscle really happens when you sleep. So you literally build a muscle overnight. But you have to get that prioritize that sleep. Because if you're stimulating your muscle in the gym, right? You're stimulating your muscle in the gym and you're stimulating, but that's not where your muscle grows. It stimulates. It's like an alarm clock, right? But why are you sending out a fire alarm to your muscles to there's a fire, just an analogy, right? It's like sending a fire alarm to your muscles, but there's no fire. Because the fire, you're supposed to be sleeping. It's okay, you're stimulating the growth. Hey, muscle, grow. But if you don't even give it time at night to grow, it's okay, you want us to grow your muscle, but you're not letting us recover. Why are you going to keep stimulating us, right? It's kind of that's a weird analogy, but it's you're annoying your muscles by saying, hey, I want you to grow because I'm working out now. But then at night, you're your muscles are begging you hey, you want us to grow. Why aren't you giving us enough time to recover, right? So you have to give it enough time to recover at night. And that was something I really neglected because I thought it was just oh, as long as I hit my protein goal, as long as I just work out, I'm good to go. And sure, those two things are a big factor. They're great, but it's not enough, right? If you really, it'll make you progress too, but it won't make you as much progress as you really are capable of, right? You're really capable of a lot of progress. But if you're not, recovering properly, if you're not sleeping well, I used to just stay up a lot, just thinking that I was being more productive if I just late night grind. I used to see all these videos like late night grind, people working late at night. I was like, okay, if I want to reach my goals, I probably should work at late at night too. That's not the case at all, right? And especially in the game of trying to build muscle, for me, if it's in this fitness industry, I need to recover. So I need to sleep. I need to sleep a lot more than what I was previously. I was sleeping like 4 to 5 hours, not even like 3 to 4 months ago, right? So this past couple months, I really learned about my body. I really learned about sleep. Sleep is super, super important. You literally age like by 10 years if you don't sleep well. Like your testosterone is 10 years ahead if you don't sleep well. If you're getting like less than 6-7 hours of sleep. So I mean, for the past like 6 months, I've probably been aging faster. Who knows? But that's just a hypothesis. But anyways, but the real thing is, like, it's not the testosterone thing is not a hypothesis. That's a real thing. You literally age quicker if you don't sleep well, or if you don't sleep enough, or don't have good quality sleep, right? But I've probably been aging for like the past 6 months a little bit faster than usual. Who knows, right? But that's another thing. Use sleep as a priority. It's not like a lazy time. It's actually work time. It's a priority if you want to actually build your physique. And so I'm prioritizing with mouth tape. I'm using mouth tape because there goes more oxygen to my nose, to my brain. Because if I'm just mouth breathing all night and I get up, I used to mouth breathe all night and get up and then I feel like all dizzy, right? So mouth tape really helps with that because you're getting oxygen to your brain. And also just breathing with your nose throughout the day, that also helps because you're getting oxygen to your brain. I used to just mouth breathe a lot, and I still do sometimes, I'll be honest. So that's another thing. So yeah, just prioritize your sleep. And right now we're almost to Target. We're gonna get some go to Target. We're gonna get our Band-Aids, waterproof Band-Aids for later. And we're going to get some coffee right nearby. They're both opening at the same time, which is great. It's not going to be a lot of people there. So I'll show you what I get. Oh, come on, man. Right. Got a package. And my mom saw that I was going out today. She saw I was going to Target, so she told me to get some cheese. So that's what we got. We got some cheese. We got some soap, Band-Aids, and the blades for the razors. So we're gonna get some coffee right now. How am I gonna open the door? Hold on. 1 second. There it is. All right. We are back in the whip. I'm gonna put this to the side. And honestly, the coffee shop's right there. I mean, look, it's literally just right there. It's one of these. I can't show. Hold on. 1 second. I'm not even gonna park. Again, it's literally right there. I don't even know where to point it. It's like somewhere there. So I'm just gonna walk there. It doesn't even matter. I'm not sure what they have though. Not sure what they have. Before I get into the rest of the video, I just want to put this in as a little segment of getting some coffee, because why not? Love me some coffee. And I see one person there. I hope there's no line. All right, I'll show you what I get right now. All right, we have another pickup. Got some coffee with some chocolate croissants. And now we're going to go back to the car because we got to go home now. So let me show you the door. So now we're going to go home and enjoy our coffee. And we got a chocolate croissant, so let me show you how that looks. Because the only reason I got it is because it just looks nice, nicely presented. So here we go. Look, watch this. Look at this. It looks like neat. Other ones look quite messy, but this one looks quite neat. Looks really like the presentation is really well. The presentation really sells, honestly. So we're gonna go back home. We're gonna enjoy our coffee. We're gonna make a meal before we go to Soak City because but after the meal I gotta explain my last thing that I wish I did to get jacked sooner, which I probably could have been at my dream physique by now, but with a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors, there's definitely one more thing that I wish I would have done earlier on, especially in the beginning. So we're gonna make our meal and enjoy this coffee, enjoy the croissant. And we already did the cardio today, so we did some work. We worked for this, and so now let's go home, make a meal. I'm thinking of ground beef with eggs and turkey, if I have time, right? But we gotta leave quite soon, so we're gonna see how that goes because we want to be there early. All right, so I'll see you after I make that meal. But first, before I go to the next scene, we have to try this first on camera because I got the caramel tiramisu espresso. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure what that means, but it's a new coffee shop, so I really don't know the names or anything. It's my first time, so this is gonna be the caramel tiramisu espresso. Smells good, right? Smells good. So let's see. That's good. That's good. Immediately, that's good. It's not like, oh, it's pretty good. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It's really good, really good. And the inside, I wish I recorded the inside. The inside is really nice, really nice. Like you see from the outside, it's like, oh, probably just another like coffee shop that you see on the street with like barely any decorations or anything. No, this is a modern place. Like looks so modern, but the location, it doesn't fit well, right? So when I went inside, it was really nice inside. I'll probably post it on my Instagram story, just me with the coffee. But the inside looks really nice. It looks really neat. I might even come here to do some work because it looks so nice. And the coffee's good. The coffee's really good. So, really good. Really well done. Croissants. Let's take a bite out of the croissant. Why not? Let's take a bite. Let's see. I just vacuumed the car too. Well, it's fine. Yeah, it's good. Nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy. It's good. So, but with every meal that I enjoy, or that I every meal that is not really part of the plan, I always follow it up with a meal that is part of my goals, right? You can enjoy other foods that you like. You can enjoy coffee. You can enjoy croissants if you want. But as long as your next meal, your follow-up meal, is a meal that's part of your plan, or at least towards your goals, totally fine, right? Because you want to reinforce your habit of, your brain. If your brain does two things in a row, it already reinforces that as a habit. So that's why I always say, if you're going to have a meal, at least have your follow-up meal. If you have a cheat meal or anything, or if you like go out with your friends, at least have your follow-up meal after that, a meal that's part of your plan, so that you can reinforce your brain to be like, okay, we're still on this track though. We're still on track. Because if it does 2 cheat meals in a row, that means your brain's like, okay, it gets this repetitive habit, and you don't want to do that, right? You want to keep it as repetitive as possible on the good meals. So, I'm going to enjoy this coffee now. Now we're going to go home. We're going to go make a meal, and I'll see you in the next one. So before we leave, we're going to just chow down this final meal. Or not final meal, but like final scene. Not final. That doesn't make no sense. Wait. We're going to chow down our first meal as the final scene. There we go. Okay. So, just making this meal, it actually reminded me of the last thing I want to talk about, which is I wish I would have started eating healthier. This might sound so obvious, but hear what I'm saying. In the beginning of your lifting journey, or your exercising journey, or you're just you're working out, right? And you're trying to gain muscle. You're really prone to a lot of growth because your body is not used to that kind of stimulus. So when your body is going through that phase in the beginning of you're weightlifting and your body's like, oh shoot, what is this? This is all new to me. It's not used to that feeling, right? So it recovers faster, right? Because it's in the shock mode. And so now the more experience you get, your body needs a lot more recovery as you're trying to build more and more and more muscle. And so you need a little bit more rest, or you need actually better quality of rest But people tend to, they tend to not really prioritize that, like myself. So when it comes to eating, your body is able to take whatever you eat in the beginning of your weightlifting journey and really put it towards your muscle, because that's when you're most prone to growth. Your muscles are really like, they're new to the stimulus, they're new to weightlifting. So your body's like putting all that food into your muscles, or not food, but like you know what I'm saying, like the macronutrients into your muscles, right? It's repairing faster, repairing quicker. Now, as you get more experience, like I said, you need more recovery, you need better foods, because your body is going to be becoming bigger. It's going to become bigger. It's going to become, not saying like that in a bulky way. Like, I'm just saying it's going to become more fuller, right? As you weight lift more. So you need much more nutrient dense foods to withhold all that muscle, right? So in the beginning, I was eating really junk food, right? I was taking advantage of like this stimulus, this cheat code of growth in the beginning of my weightlifting journey. Since I was like the most prone to just a lot of muscle growth, I was eating whatever, right? I just weightlifted. I didn't really, get whole foods a lot, and I was just eating whatever, trying to bulk up any weight that I can. So as I was just trying to gain weight, I was eating junk food. I was eating at my fast food restaurant any leftovers, and I really wasn't just like making these type of meals, right? But if I would have had practiced healthier eating in the beginning, no matter if I, used junk food as a way to gain weight or muscle, I wish I would have practiced healthy eating first, so that it could be much more sustainable in the long-term goals. Because in the beginning of like the 6 months of my first bulk, I was making progress. I made progress. I got fuller, and I gained some weight. And then as time went on, from like last summer to January of this year, so like summer of 2024 to January of 2025, that's when everything started to go downhill, and my body wasn't recovering as fast enough or enough to gain more muscle and better muscle. It was just taking all that junk food now and just turning it into fat, which is why I got that bulk belly. I got really chubby, and so you could see it in my face too. It was really bad. Like, it still is a little bit right here, like you can see a little bit of chub cheeks, but in the like a few months ago, it was really bad, and I was really insecure about it. And so I was like, man, okay, I need to actually start to eat healthier, right? So it wasn't until like January of 2025 when I actually or December of 2024 when I actually start to eat healthier. And things didn't change right away still, because I wasn't in the calorie deficit until January of 2025. Then that's when I really started to like, do more cardio, do more walking, not necessarily like cardio, but walking, just mainly walking a lot more and eating much more healthier and tracking how much I was eating, right? Because my main goal was to gain weight. I mean, not gain weight, to lose weight at the end of my dirty bulk. Now I want to lose weight. So I was doing a lot more steps, and I was just tracking a lot more my food, trying to increase my calorie expenditure and decrease my calorie intake. So you can eat all the healthy food you want, but if you're still eating more than you're expending, you're not going to lose weight. So that was my main goal. But not to make this too complicated, I wish I had, started to eat healthy in the beginning so that I can sustain it in the longer term. But if I didn't make that mistake of, eating all that junk food, I wouldn't have learned this lesson. So that's why I'm just recording and giving it to you, so you don't make the same mistake that I did. Because it'll probably get you like short-term gains, but then in the long term, it's not sustainable at all. You'll feel like shit. You'll look worse than ever. That's what happened to me. So things like this. My foods were not like this a year ago, right? It was not like potato, ground beef, and eggs. Like, I would eat some eggs, some beans, some stuff my mom would make, but nothing compared to what I eat now. Like ground beef, I did not eat a year ago. It was just like 8 months ago when I started eating ground beef, and I was still eating like the wrong type of ground beef. I was eating like 85-15 or 80-20 when I should be eating leaner ground beef, which is 93-7. And then the eggs, I ate eggs all my life. Potato, I've ate potato before, but I was eating a little bit too much of it back then, too little back then based off my exercising, right? I was eating too little carbs to replenish my muscle storage or my glycogen storages. Not to get too scientific right now, but the point is that just practice healthier eating, especially if you're beginning, because it's going to be much more sustainable in the long term. And you don't want to just like go for short-term goals. You're here for the longer term, and this is going to be a whole lifestyle thing. So you have time to be able to build your physique, except if you don't have that urgency to build it, like that hunger in the beginning to build it, then it's going to take a little bit longer. But if you really want to get that physique, and if you really want to dial in, practice healthier eating and track your foods. Doesn't have to be by the macro, by the gram, but at least have an idea of how much you're intaking. And just make sure it's whole foods, especially if you're cutting. You're going to feel fuller, you're going to feel better if you eat wholer foods, you eat natural foods, and not just like all this junk food, and you're just constantly eating and all this dopamine is hitting your brain from all the junk food. So just practice that. Practice those 3 things: better sleep, better whole foods, not just junk food, and what was the last one? Cardio, right? Don't neglect cardio, especially if you're still trying to bulk. Cardio is going to minimize the fat. Try to get that zone 2 cardio. Like I said before, just do the equation: 220 minus your age, and then multiply that by 0.6 to 0.7. That's your zone 2 range. And if you do that, just follow these 3 steps. Don't make these mistakes that I did. You'll get there sooner, even if probably in a year, right? You'll make much more progress in a year than if you were to follow my method of trying to dirty bulk my way and then really aggressively cut. Like, it was quite miserable at times, but I still got it done. There was much more better ways to get it done, but that's how you learn. So now I know what to do. I know what not to do now, and that's the whole point of my channel, so you can see what not to do and what to do, and just follow my steps. So don't follow my steps, actually, of what I did before. Just follow what I learned, right? So I'm gonna enjoy this food. It's just waiting to be chowed down, and I'll see you in the next video.